What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Jobbers and Goons, and today we are here to celebrate one of the most thug life characters in current comic books. That is the grand uncle of Thanos, Uranos, right? Like, this dude is a fucking menace, and given he's had already in his brief runs multiple Goon moments, we're going to give him an addition to the Goon series today, as well as people can learn about some of the wild shit he's done if they haven't read his comics already. If you're a fan of the Goon series, Jobber series, my funny takes, my coverage of comics, make sure to like and subscribe. We're almost at 20k and it'd be amazing when we hit it. As well as let's try to get this to 300 likes to support the Goon series. And also check out my second channel, Coffee Shop Comics, where I cover all different kinds of comics, cosmologies, versus battles, as well as I'm going to start my One Piece coverage over there as well. And I'll be doing episodes on the many different One Piece segments I got to do. It's going to be 25 chapters an episode, so it'll be really fun as y'all see me read One Piece and react in real time, give my thoughts, scaling, all that. But anyways, getting back to this, let's get into Uranos. I hope you guys enjoy. Without further ado, let's begin. So Uranos, obviously being an eternal of the lineage of Thanos, he is his grand uncle, and he's an extremist to an infinite degree. He wants to erase all things around him that are not his gang. Like, that's it. That's the vibe. So he tells Odin at one point, right, that he's going to eradicate all things, like all the humans or whatnot. And Odin's like, man, I don't know how I feel about you, like, eradicating them. And Uranos just looks at him and is like, look here, big dog. Like, don't mistake me pulling up and telling you what I'm going to do as me looking for permission. If you don't like how I'm finna move, fucking step. But if you're not gonna step, then shut your dumb mouth. I was just letting you know the vibes. I was not asking permission. He's like, do you really want beef over this shit, though? Because we can do that. Do you want a beef, Odin? And Odin's like, nah, I don't want a beef. Like, I don't think it's worth it. I was like, damn. Uranos is the biggest of steppers. Yeah, he thugged Odin, and this is young Odin, too. Next, we have an exchange between Thanos, which kind of spans two moments, right? Like, so, first moment is the vibe war. This is where Granduncle meets his diabolical little grandnephew, Thanos, right? The renowned, attempted genocider of half a universe. And they go back and forth. And Uranos is like, yo, you only killed half the universe? Fucking underachiever. Imagine only getting half the job done. What a bum. They're going back and forth. Thanos is in his bag now, too. He's like, yo, I could kill you. I've killed more than 500,000 of a universe. Like, don't disrespect the numbers. And Thanos was like, I would kill you, too, but I don't get any clout off that, because there's no word for killing your granduncle. He's like, should we coin one? And Uranos just looks at him. He starts to stand up. He's like, yeah, how about you coin that shit and let me out? You're the Prime Eternal. Like, let's run it. Let's see what's good. And he was down to brawl with Thanos right there. Like, Thanos had to realize that this was not a bitch he was talking to. Like, Uranos is big dog. We then see Thanos low-key admitting Uranos is a vibe, as he's like, oh, you've done this and that, Thanos? Like, he's like, you know what? Maybe you aren't the biggest trash can in my lineage. Like, maybe you have done some things. He's like, you should cook while you can. Like, the young should cook with what's inherited. He's like, I'm gonna do my thing, and you could just do your thing. And Thanos goes from calling him a granduncle to grandfather. Almost like accepting the fact that Uranos is a big dog. Like, he has to be acknowledged as him. So he literally changes how he addresses him in terms of family lineage. And mostly probably due to the fact he respects that Uranos is gonna cook regardless. He does not give a fuck. Next, we see him pull off one of the most disrespectful negations of powers, right? So he was facing this eye, right? And this eye is actually mad fucking OP because I believe it's like aura or something. It has literally conceptually erased gods before in Marvel. Like, this shit is a big deal. It pulls up on Uranos and it's like, stop. You will cease to be. You will cease to be. The eye is law and it's upon you. It starts trying to erase Uranos. Uranos turns around and is like, no. There is no fucking law that you think you can apply to me by looking at me. That's not how that shit works with me. He said the only law is the one that's in my fucking code, and I stick to the code. He was like, and that's that Eternals are big dogs. Everybody else has to go. And he's like, that's the law. That's how I rock with that shit, and now I'm going to show you what it looks like. It literally hits the fuck out of the eye. The fact he just walked her through that existence erasure while talking crazy, amazing Goon moment. Smash the like button if you weren't familiar with his game yet. He is a beast. Uranos is big dog. Next, we have when he gets called out by Legion. Now, this was bad with the original no contest, because eventually we do see how their fight went. But this is when the initial call out happens, right? So, Uranos has pulled up on Krakoa. He's fucking the mutants up, right? He's like, mutants can't exist. It's all about the big Eternals. He's putting in work. Legion's told to hold the front line. If you guys don't know, Legion's one of the most overpowered characters in Marvel Comics. Except he's crazy as fuck. So it's unfortunate. You usually don't know what you're going to get from him. He pulls up and he's like, yo, Uranos, let's take this shit outside. And Uranos looks up. He's like, oh, they called the big dogs. He was like, you might be interesting. Yeah, I'll step outside. I don't want to break no fucking furniture. And all we know is that fight took place between like 10 and 30 seconds. It was not that long. And this man Uranos showed back up and he was like, all right, bitches, who's ready to get cooked? And I was like, my God, this man is one of the biggest savages we've ever seen. You want to talk about one of the coldest, like, return? Technically, it's a return, right? Because he has been shown before in old comics, but nothing like this. And a return / revival of a character like this, can't think of many that was as cold when it comes to an entrance. Like, this shit was crazy. We then see him get pulled up on by Cable, right? Like, so Cable's got a weapon that can literally break the hardest substance in existence, right? Like osmium, I think that's what it's called. It's supposed to be the hardest in existence, which would take its durability beyond vibranium and adamantium, right? And this cannon can break that, which is fucking nuts. Pulls up on Uranos and blasts away. So Uranos is getting hit with something that would foderize something tougher than Captain America's shield, Mjolnir, adamantium, all these things, right? And after he gets blasted, you just see Uranos smiling, and he goes, yo, real shit, like, was that it? Like, was that your big weapon? Cable's like, ah, shit. And yeah, him just laughing at what's supposed to be one of the scariest weapons around, absolutely disrespectful. Next, we have when he's brawling with Magneto and Cable, right? So Cable and Magneto are both some of the most powerful mutants to ever exist. So them pulling up as a duo on anyone is typically either a W or a serious problem. Uranos disagrees with that scaling, unfortunately for the duo. So right, they're double teaming him and they're like, yo, like, you're a piece of shit, all this. He's like, so you guys think you can hold me down? Like, let me ask you, you guys seem kind of emotional on that side. Is this personal for y'all? And Magneto's pissed, right? Because obviously Uranos has been genociding mutants. And he goes, you're everything I've ever fought against. And Uranos is like, oh, so it is personal. That's too fucking bad. And he proceeds to break out of the hold Magneto had him in. This was absolute comedy because it just shows how big of an asshole Uranos is. He really is like the Hoodrat version of Thanos. Next, we have his speed run of Krakoa. This was mad fucking disrespectful. So at one point, we see that Uranos can like summon portals that allows his artillery / forces / weapons to come through and start blasting, right? This man pulled out like 0.03% of his armory and started blasting away. Was like catching thousands of bodies. It was absolutely horrible. The fact that that little bit of his armory, of his bag, is enough to just bolo everybody there, that's crazy. And it just shows the potential of Uranos. Next, we have the exchange with Magneto, which had comic book readers shook. That's right. T-shirt alert. So he was going back and forth with Magneto, right? And of course, this harkens back to when Magneto said it's like fighting everything he's ever fought against. And he goes like, man, runs down on Magneto, plunges his arm through Magneto's chest, and he goes, to lose a fight of that magnitude to you, of that significance to you, that shit must be heartrending. And he pulls out the heart of Magneto in front of his whole squad. That's right. Literally t-shirts him in front of his boys and says, now what, pussies, do something. This man Uranos was on one of the wildest runs we've ever seen. Lastly, and smash the like button if you want more crazy Goon videos like this, we have his battle with Legion. So we finally get to see it, right? His battle with Legion was fucking crazy. These two were not having a typical battle. Within the span of like 3 seconds, they fought in realms of possibility. Realms of abstract idea. Realms of song beyond songs. Realm of cosmic proportions beyond anything we could think of. Multiverses and like the possibilities of these multiverses were slammed on each other. And at one point, dreams were being thrown, and as the possibility battles continue, we see it ultimately shift into favor of Uranos. Because as they're battling, he realizes there's some weird shit in the mind of Legion. Like, he's crazy. He also has a lot of self-doubt and guilt. And as soon as Uranos sees it, he's like, oh, I'm about to cook this bitch. And at that point, Legion gets picked apart as Uranos says, yo, like, real shit, you shouldn't have pulled up on the big dog full of such self-doubt and self-disbelief. Like, that's gonna get your dumb ass cooked. Proceeded to fry Legion and then returned to battle to be a menace once more. Like I said, Uranos is built different. This is like the funniest family debut of anyone I've seen. Like, Thanos' granduncle is wildin'. Let me know in the comment section your favorite Uranos moment. If you like him as a character, what you want to see him do next in Marvel Comics. I think he's one of the better additions to comics as of late, and I had a blast doing this video. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you want to talk to me, maybe purchase some content or support the channel, join my Discord, over 700 members, and hit me up. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's been your boy Jobbers and Goons, and I will see y'all later. Peace.